Most people assume that this means I just simply don't feel any emotion. Not entirely true, it's that I essentially refuse to. I want to be a sociopath, that's what makes me a borderline sociopath. I've yet to make the jump to full-on sociopath. I want to be numb. When I do feel numb, it's fucking great. Yeah, I don't feel any really happiness or passion or anything, but I also don't feel any anger or sadness or depression, and those are the emotions that plagued me the majority of my life. I've been feeling depressed for the last few days, and I am trying to deny myself those emotions. And usually around this time of year I feel a bit down, but it's usually before Christmas and during Christmas. It's after New Year's now. Christmas is over. And I wasn't down during the Christmas season because I moved away from my mom with my dearest friend Sarah. And the reason I am down is because I moved in with my dearest friend Sarah and I'm afraid of losing her. I've known her for well over 10 years. She's my oldest friend, she's my dearest friend, and she's the only one who bothered sticking around because she's the only one who ever wanted me. Let me explain to you the kind of relationships I have with my friends. With the exception of Sarah, I am the friend that people need, not the friend that people want. I am essentially two things, either Buckley's cough syrup or an opiate. Usually I'm Buckley's cough syrup. They need something, they need to vent, they need to bitch, they need to whine, they need to cry. They need a favor, they need a ride. That's when they call me, and they leave me alone for the rest of the time. The rest of the time I tend to bother them because for some reason I want them, but eventually I just get sick and tired of their bullshit, and the friendship sort of naturally breaks away. To a select few, I'm an opiate. One woman killed herself because I moved away. I was in her suicide letter. She was a recovering opiate addict, well, to be more specific, that I met through the hospital. I don't even know her last name. I doubt she knew mine. I knew her address. She never knew mine. I never even really considered her a friend. She was just someone I helped out on occasion. Drive to Narcotics Anonymous meetings and the like. And she was clean when I met her. The reason she was in the hospital was for something completely different. She had been clean from opiates for years. I leave, or I'm about to leave, to move to my uncle's about 2.5, 3 hours drive away, and she freaks out. Overdoses on OxyContin. Her sponsor calls me because she won't open the door for anyone else. I go in, there's pills everywhere, needles. I don't even know how the hell you make oxy and make it so that it's injectable. I don't know how to do it. I don't care, but apparently she did. And she is high out of her fucking mind, claiming to love me and need me and blah 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 blah. Call the paramedics. Of course, the police arrive. And she is in the hospital screaming my name so loud you could hear her. She was on the floor above us and you could hear her on the floor below. Because I've dealt with people similar to this, one of them being a recovering crack addict who I'm fairly certain is back on the pipe, but I don't care. I refuse to have anything to do with her anymore. Yeah, I know a lot of freaks who seem to be a drug user myself, but all I ever do is smoke marijuana occasionally. I don't even get drunk, but anyways. I cut her off. I'm not going through this fucking drama for someone whose last name I don't even know. I was actually kind of shocked that she made such a big deal about it. She'd never been to my place. I assume she knew I lived in the same city simply because when she phoned up I need a ride to Narcotics Anonymous or something. I was there within a matter of minutes. It was actually a walking distance from her place, but she never knew my address. She never even asked for it. I move to my uncle's and I get a call from her sponsor. Bitch killed herself. And her suicide note is essentially an extravagant Shakespearean romantic love poem to me. I don't even care. I refuse to. It's not my fault, it's hers. What was I supposed to do? Just stay there? Despite the fact that I couldn't afford it? So yeah. I haven't even read the letter. I don't care. I refuse to. It is not my fault. But I am starting to, unfortunately, care deeply about Sarah because she's the only one who stuck around for 10 years, because she's the only one who legitimately wanted me. She don't need me, she wants me. And it freaks me out. Because I'm terrified of losing her. She has done nothing to make me assume that I am annoying her. In fact, she seems pleased by my presence. I'm paranoid I'm going to drive her away. I'm paranoid I'm going to drive her nuts. I'm apparently not. And I gotta get over it. I'm starting to care a little too much, and that is not good. One other reason these bullshit emotions are starting to cloud me is because I've started work on a few new projects. While I wouldn't say writing is... I don't want writing to be my passion. Writing's one of my passions. And I don't want it to be. And when I write, I get very emotional. So I try to hide it, or lock it. And when I get emotional, it's due to my bipolarism. It's like 15 seconds of yay, 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 and then hours of misery. This is why I like feeling numb. The 15 seconds of positivity does not... It's not worth the hours of misery. I haven't heard from Bandit in close to a month, and I don't know if she's... I know she's not ignoring me, it's just she's as broke as I am, and unfortunately she is trying to convince me that she's dying. I know she's sick, but I don't know if she's dying. She has been hiding the status of her health from me, and I cannot allow her to do that no more. I need to know specifically what's going on so that I can prepare myself and prepare herself for the outcome. It's been almost a month, if not a month, since I've last heard from her. And I didn't even get a Christmas greeting or a Happy New Year's from her. Most people won't care, but I just kind of feel mildly irritated. And even the mild irritation is irrelevant because I know chances are she just wasn't able to. I'm starting to come to the conclusion that people like me. I don't know how to respond to that. When I was a kid in school, I was the most unpopular, most picked on kid in my grade, and I so desperately wanted not to be popular, but just to have people like me. Then I essentially stopped giving a shit. And when you stop giving a shit, life becomes so much easier. The fuck 'em all attitude is great. But it's having an effect that I was not expecting. Now that I essentially do not give a damn if people like me or not, most of the time I just assume they don't and I don't even care. Well, they do. And it's weird because I don't care anymore. I am essentially the nicest asshole you will ever meet, and I'm not even that nice. I used to be nice. You know that phrase, nice guys finish last? It's true. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, it's fucking true, and here's why. They are too busy helping other people finish before them. Fuck it. But yeah, people seem to like me, and I don't know how to respond. It almost becomes a, well, okay, you like me, what do you want from me? More specifically, what do you eventually need from me? Because remember, all my friends except for Sarah need me. Buckley's cough syrup or an opiate. That's what I am in relationships. And I've been trying to get myself out of this funk. And all of the solutions I've been doing thus far are essentially only temporary. Writing don't work. Reading don't work. Video games don't work. In an effort to lose weight, which isn't even a New Year's resolution, I've been trying to do this for a long time, and since I've moved in due to not wanting to make Sarah uncomfortable, I've quit my exercises. Well, now I've started doing them again, and yeah. Exercise makes me feel better for about a minute. And the results, I don't have a weight scale, but I do know that obviously my waistline is going down. My belt buckle needs to be tighter and tighter and tighter. No. I don't even really know why I'm doing this other than to maybe have someone not turn out like me. Because feeling numb, feeling nothing, it's fucking great. And no one should feel this way. You know that phrase, I want to wish it on my most hated person? I never understood that phrase. Back when I cared, loved and hated a lot of people. And the people I hated, I wanted to wish horrible things upon them, shameful things upon them. Now that I've reached the point of I just don't care if something were to happen to them, no matter how horrible or horrendous, in all honesty, I'd feel annoyed and irritated that someone bothered mentioning it to me. Even when I was numb in high school, someone who I didn't particularly like, I found him extremely immature and annoying. He died. Oh, fucking phone. He died within the last week of school. And I didn't care. Everyone else did. And it was very confusing because, yeah, he was one of the popular kids, but he was kind of popular for being a jackass. And his close friends were mourning, and everybody else was pretending to give a damn, even though I'm thinking to myself, do you even know the guy? Like, if I were to point him out in the yearbook, would you know who he was? Like, I can understand mourning for someone if they were a close person to you, but everybody was, like, crying and sobbing, and it's so sad. And I'm just... why? People die all the time just because it's someone who went to your school, suddenly it means something to you? Why? You obviously didn't know him. And I knew him, and I didn't even like him. I had to bite my tongue whenever someone will ask me, well, aren't you saddened I had to bite my tongue from keeping this? Actually, no. If anything, I would have preferred he died sooner. He was an irritating twat. And the cards. Multiple cards. Sign this for him. Sign this for him. Oh, for fuck's sake, goddamn. Sign this for him. I didn't sign it. I didn't sign anything. Everyone else did, apparently. They had a huge banner, rest in peace. I don't even remember the guy's name. That's how much he meant to me. I can't even be asked to remember the guy's name. But there was this huge cardboard banner with his name on it and his date and rest in peace or whatever. And it was laid out, and it was multiple dining room tables long, covered in signatures, of which maybe a % of them were people who actually did legitimately give a damn. It was weird. When my mom had the heart attack, I didn't cry. I didn't feel sad. I felt annoyed. Because I knew it meant that I was the one who was going to have to take care of her, and then when I found out that taking care of her meant moving away from the few friends I wanted. They didn't want me, they needed me, but I wanted them at the time. I felt even more irritated. I don't even know how I'd feel if she died. When my grandma died, I didn't even want to go to the funeral. I felt no sadness, I felt no grief. And the only reason I even went to the wake was to avoid family drama. I will do things I don't want to do to avoid situations I want to avoid. I didn't go to the funeral. I didn't care. I honestly felt more emotion when my dog had the stroke. That is the one and only time I have cried in, like, ages. When he had a stroke, I sobbed like a widow. Yeah, it's just a fucking dog. When my snakes died, I felt more I should be sad, but I was more upset that I wasn't upset, if that makes any sense. But when he has a stroke, I'm sobbing like a widow. Then after she gets better, I kick myself and tell myself to smarten up because it's a dog and dogs die. It's to be expected. He's sleeping beside me now. As you know, I have a snake, and I used to allow myself the passion of keeping reptiles, and now that that barrier has been broken once again, I'm worried it's going to come back. I refuse to get into breeding, but I want a ball python, preferably a piebald, and I want a true red-tail boa constrictor. And of course that leads me to going, well, if I can find a western hognose snake that I know is eating, I'll get one of those, and if I find a bull snake or a pine snake, I'll get one of those. Passion. Can't allow myself that addiction. Another thing that's making me paranoid about annoying Sarah or losing Sarah is the fact that I am so comfortable around her and she seems comfortable around me. I have boundary issues. If someone enters my room without knocking and asking permission, I feel violated, but Sarah does it all the time, and I would not only not care, I welcome it. And she doesn't mind when I talk to her from across the room or enter her room even if I don't knock. She actually seems to enjoy it. And I'm paranoid of abusing that privilege. Anyways. If you're feeling anything like this, know that you are not alone, and if you are thinking of finding a solution to get better, don't medicate yourself to the point of feeling numb. Definitely don't medicate yourself to the point of feeling stupid. Long before I spent time in the psych ward, they put me on Paxil, and Paxil made me numb and stupid. I eventually got off that simply because I lost my drug plan and couldn't afford it anymore. Now I'm on 4 different types of antidepressants, antipsychotics, what have you. I don't feel any more stupider, I just feel numb. And if there was a way to make me feel more numb without sacrificing my intelligence, bring it. Because I'm a borderline sociopath. That essentially means I have not yet made the commitment, and despite the fact I want to make the commitment to become a full-fledged sociopath. And I'm not even violent. I am I would be the friendliest sociopath you would ever meet. As I said, people seem to like me now. Anyways, I've been rambling on long enough. This video is almost a half hour already. Well, unfortunately, I do not feel better. If anything, I feel worse, so maybe this is why writers become alcoholics and drug addicts. I refuse to be either. I refuse to allow myself the comfort of those conditions. And I refuse to allow myself the weakness of becoming addicted. Anyways, I'm done. Take care all. Bye.